Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Shaneria, and this is Talk and Crime. Today, we have another story time, but before we get started, hit the subscribe button and join the family. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get started.
Y'all, quick little story time on how I found out the guy that I was seeing next door had a wife. Y'all, so back in 2022, I had moved in a new house, and this guy, older man, he stayed next door to me. And when I moved in, I always saw that he was like looking at me and stuff, and always like had his eyes on me or whatever every time I came home. And y'all, when I say this man literally looked at me every time he seen me outside, he looked at me, he waved. And finally, one day, I want to say maybe 3 weeks in of me staying in my new home, he seen me outside. So he finally came over. I think he was just getting home, and he came over and he introduced himself and said, "Hello, my name is such and such. I'm your neighbor. You know, if you ever need me, I'm here. If you ever go out of town," basically he'll be the watch or whatever. And I got that vibe from him as if like he was, interested in me. So I, introduced myself or whatever, and he brought some donuts over. He was like, "I seen you had kids and I wanted to give you some donuts, and if you want, you could take a few or you could take the whole box or whatever." And
Not the donuts. Not the donuts. He done pulled a donut trick. What?
like, "Oh, okay, I'll just take a few or whatever." But he ended up giving me the whole box. But for some odd reason, I just felt like he intentionally brought the donuts to us or whatever because he wanted to greet us or whatever. Okay, cool. So that ended up happening, y'all. And then
More like greet you. I'm just trying to figure out how you didn't know that he had a wife and y'all were neighbors.
And remind y'all, I've never seen a woman over there. I've never seen nobody over there from the times that I go outside or, or just driving around the community or leaving or whatever. I've never seen a woman over there. So that same day I left and I have to drive past his house, but somebody was like walking across the street. So I basically had to stop in the middle of the street next to his house, and he was standing right there in his car. He was just getting home or whatever. And he was like, "Hey, I'm your neighbor. Once again, my name is such and such." And I was like, "Okay, bye." That was the same day. And then so maybe a couple of weeks passed by and I'm outside, I'm pulling the trash out, and
Cause why you keep introducing yourself? Why? You already told me that.
pulling the trash out, and he comes outside. He waved at me, and then he asked me, what is that right there?" As y'all can see, I have a tattoo, but the shirt that I was wearing, it was like a flannel, but it was buttoned up and it kind of had like this part open. And I was like, "Oh, what exactly?" And he was like, "Right here." I was like, "Oh, it's my tattoo. It says Faith." And that was the day that I should have just said no. Y'all, that day I was looking bummy as fuck. Like I literally had on a flannel and some house shoes and some, tights or whatever. But my whole body was basically covered except for this part. And so we got on a conversation about my tattoo. Then he asked me, "Am I seeing someone?" And I told him no. And in the conversation, and then, y'all, this man asked me out. He asked me out on a date. So I asked him, "Are you seeing anyone?" And he was just like, "No, I'm just here. I have a sister that stays here with me, but she's never really home or whatever, but it's just me and her." I was like, "Oh, okay." So he asked me out on a date, and we ended up dating. We started dating. We probably dated for about a good two months. And he would literally, y'all, he would bring me flowers and roses. He would give me money. He would take me out on dates, bring me like lunch and stuff, or give me money to go get lunch, coffee, or whatever. Like he was like a real life little sugar daddy. Y'all, and before y'all come on here trying to bash me, this man did not have a ring on his finger. He didn't appear to be married, and it didn't appear to be another woman staying there besides from what he told me. And I never had seen her until the day that I found out he was married. Y'all, this man literally, when I say he kept flowers on my table, every time they go old, he would bring me and buy me some more. Okay. He would, every time on a weekend, he'll ask me, "What am I doing He'll take me out to eat. He'll take me to a movie. He'll take me to go get drinks. We'll go to the casinos and we'll watch, like the bets or this. We'll go to like the.
What wife? What him and his wife had some weird stuff going on. Cause like, girl, where are you? Even if the sister stayed there, like, you sure they ain't in there dead? Like, bruh.
What is that thing called at the casinos? Like where they go to bet on horses and stuff. We'll go and we'll sit there and we'll watch the games and stuff. Yeah, he would talk literally from the time that he got off work up until it was damn near time to go to bed for me. Usually I'll be in bed by 8 or so, but we literally would have a conversation every day, all day, and it never appeared. I never heard a woman in the background ever. Never seen a woman until the day that I seen her. Right, and then until one day. So y'all, me and this man, we done exchanged words, we done hugged, we done went out on dates, we got to know each other on a more good level or whatever. We ain't do nothing though. We ain't never did nothing nasty, but it was strictly just dating and him giving me money and him taking me out, stuff like that. So one day me and him was talking on the phone, and I kind of heard somebody in the background, and it sounded like a woman, but when he was talking to me, it sounded like he was sneaking on the phone. And I heard a woman come in and say, honey, some. I can't remember exactly what she said. And then the phone hung up. So the phone hung up. And bitch, why I call him back? Because I'm like, who the fuck over there? Who is that? And so I called him. He didn't answer. I called him again. He didn't answer. I then text him. It took him literally until the next day to respond back to me. And I was like, oh, you've been sneaking and creeping. So my nosy ass looking outside the window to see if there's any other cars over there. Y'all, I ain't seen no car. I ain't seen nobody pull up. I ain't seen nothing. Okay, but the lights is on. But there was a woman in that house. Okay. And true enough, she may have never been there often, but she was there that night. Y'all, this man done had pictures of me in his phone, and I was just like, oh my God, like, does this man have a woman? I was like brought back a little bit. I kind of wanted to go knock on that motherfucking door to see who was over there, but something in me told me don't go. Oh, and real quick, y'all, I've never been in the inside of his house. He ain't never been in the inside of my house and none of that. I never even wanted to step foot in his house or whatever. But he made it to me that he was perfectly single. He was single and dating is what the words that he used. So yes, and y'all probably sitting there thinking, damn, y'all was talking for 2 months and you ain't never went over there. No, because I never, if I was going over there, we were going to be doing something. And
that's exactly what I was thinking. How you know, girl? How you know I was thinking that?
And that wasn't on my agenda. My agenda was taking them funds and going out on dates and living a soft life.
Okay. You got to be definitely careful about that, though. You lucky, because some people don't turn out that easy. So.
Okay. But back on track, y'all. Back on track. So, okay, like I said, he did not pick up my call. He did not pick up my text. He didn't do nothing, y'all, until the next morning. I know that usually he'll be going to work around like 8 or whatever, and I take my kids to school around that time frame, a little bit before that time frame, and I usually run into him around that time frame. So then I seen him outside, and Lord, what I witnessed that morning, I said, oh, I would never. And I prayed to God for this, y'all, because I had to really think about it. So that sister that he was telling me about, y'all, it had turned out to be his wife. Y'all, stay tuned for part 2 because, baby, it gets juicy, okay? And by the way, real quick, before y'all get off, go ahead and grab these glasses from the TikTok shop, y'all. They are currently like $1 and some change or whatever, but these are so cute. If y'all like this look this whole time, baby, go ahead and click the link below. But y'all, stay tuned for part 2 because It gets deep.
I don't know what dynamic, relationship, marriage, whatever you want to call it, him and his wife had, but that is weird that she did not see that woman. Like, she didn't even know that woman lived there. Like, that is weird. Where was she at? Now I'm curious. Like, where was she at? That is so strange. I literally just try to go through her TikTok and find the second half of this story because I want to know where the wife was at. Like, ma'am, where were you at the whole time? Like, I don't get it. Like, you and your husband got a weird dynamic, but I cannot find it. If she do a part two or whatever and pin it, because that story was pinned, but I strolled and could not find the second part. You guys, I'm gonna have her TikTok information in my description, like I do every other video. Whoever the reaction video that I do, their TikTok be in the description. So go check it out and maybe you can find it or whatnot. But that story was real strange. But anyway, you guys, subscribe and join the family. Don't forget to like, comment, share this video. Drop below what you think about this story because, baby, ooh, just drop that in the comments. Have a blessed day. Peace.